This is the Cholo News Report for Wednesday, 25 October 2017. The European Commission scraps the draft legislation that would have permitted the EBA regulator to order too big to fail banks to split off their trading activities, citing no foreseeable agreement in sight on criteria. The draft was supposed to be the EU's answer to the United States Volcker rule. The EU draft law gave regulators powers to force banks to split off trading activities, but got bogged down over the criteria used to do so. At the same time, the mood among some policymakers was moving from the need for more new rules to nurturing economic growth in a region where the bulk of loans come from banks. Big banks have since had to comply with other rules, such as issuing bonds that can be written down to replenish capital. Vice President Mike Pence casts the tear-breaking vote late against repealing a rule that would have made it easier for Americans to sue their banks and credit card companies. They've argued the rule issued in July was an egregious overstep by the head of the agency, Richard Cordray, a President Obama appointee. Including Tuesday's action, GOP lawmakers have used procedures under the Congressional Review Act 14 times this year to kill rules completed during the final days of Barack Obama's presidency. On Monday, the Treasury Department released a report opposing the rule, saying it would favor trial lawyers over consumers by prompting frivolous lawsuits. U.S. President Donald Trump signs an executive order which allows U.S. to resume its refugee program with a 90-day review period for 11 countries identified as high risk. The Trump administration separately issued a revised travel ban last month barring entry to immigrants from Chad, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Syria, Venezuela and Yemen. The administration has denied any intent to discriminate, and argued that its travel ban and security changes were meant to protect the United States from terrorist acts. Executive order ends 120-day suspension of refugee processing. White House refuses to name 11 countries facing 90-day review. The week-long Communist Party Congress in Beijing draws to an end, with China's President Xi Jinping set to become its most influential leader since party founder Mao Zedong. More than 2,000 delegates gathered in Beijing's Great Hall of the People for the final approval process to enshrine Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for the new era into the Communist Party Constitution of China. Republican Senator Jeff Flake, a vocal critic of the Trump administration, announces that he will not run again in 2018. Ward is an op conservative who recently won the endorsement of former White House strategist Steve Bannon, but mainstream Republicans consider her unelectable in a general election. It's not clear who else might enter the GOP primary, though operatives mentioned State Treasurer Jeff DeWitt, Rep. Martha McSally and Rep. David Schweikert as possibilities who could unite both wings of the party. Republican leaders in the U.S. House of Representatives launch an investigation into the Obama administration's decision in 2010 to allow Rosatom to purchase uranium-1. News said the House probe would focus initially on whether the FBI or Justice Department had investigated alleged attempts by Russian officials to gain influence over the American energy industry. Rep. Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the Intelligence Committee, criticized the new investigations as partisan in nature. He sold his company, Eurasia, to Uranium-1, which was chaired by Ian Telfer, also a Clinton Foundation donor.